Spurs fans, there's no way to sugarcoat this. Our San Antonio Spurs had the biggest choke job in NBA Finals history last night. What went wrong? What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. And all I can say is, wow, what happened last night? Unbelievable. And the title of the video is what Charles Barkley pretty much said about our guys, the dumbest basketball team ever. And I can't argue with what happened in the second half, but I do want to break down the last three plays and what exactly went wrong. While I'm doing so, of course, drop a comment, your thoughts on how things played out. Did you know some of the things I'm about to show you? Let's get into it, starting off with the breakaway near the end of the game where Fox is running up the court. I slowed it down here for us. He's got OG trailing him, goes for the layup, and he gets blocked. Most of us thought he tried to run the clock out, get the ball, and then turn around and just start running around and run the clock out and probably get fouled and get 2 free throws. But no, he went for the layup, but here's the big but. He was fouled. There you see it. OG did not block the ball, he blocked the wrist. The refs missed it, and honestly, I didn't see it in the moment either. I don't think really anybody did. It was fast-paced, it's happening. It didn't happen. But you know what? He also shouldn't have shot it. And to reference Charles Barkley again, he said this was a dumb ASS play. Should have run the clock. That was a huge mistake by De'Aaron Fox right there. Now, let's talk about the last bucket of the game for the Knicks. OG's about to inbound the ball. De'Aaron Fox is the one covering the inbound pass. Wemby's on Brunson right beneath them, and everybody else is kind of spread out, right? We move forward on this play. Fox leaves the inbound passer. I don't know if this was De'Aaron Fox's decision or Coach Johnson's decision, but one thing that you always hear is don't leave the inbound passer open, especially if it's someone that can shoot the three, and OG had been shooting the three very well that night. So Fox goes over and double teams Brunson. And we talked about this all series. Stop the double teaming. And we did a double team here, and it cost us. Because Brunson launches a three, and OG has nobody impeding his process. And I'm not saying Fox would have bodied him and not, just been like a wall, but just a third of a second, an additional half a second that impedes his progress to getting to that missed three-pointer means he might not get the eventual tip in, because he gets there with no problem. And all our guys that are there, Stephon Castle, who was biting out Cat, Devin, Vassell, Dylan Harper, are all smaller than OG. Because he's bigger and taller, he's able to get enough on the ball to tip it in for the game-winning shot, which further emphasizes we've been talking about on this channel, not even just all year, but years. We need a legit starting power forward. Harrison Barnes was clearly not it. Julian Champagnie, like you are not a starting power forward. We have no legit starting power forward. We have a guy out there that's 6'9", 6'10", and maybe this doesn't happen. And I know some of you may make the argument at TSR. Wouldn't they have Kornet in there, the Twin Towers? Kornet is slow. I don't think that, yes, maybe a plus on rebounds, but a huge minus on defensive rotation, etc. So I see why they had this particular lineup in there. All right, they get the bucket. The Spurs are down 107-106. And watching it live, the last play looked like a horrible play, but it wasn't. The last play that we ran, guys, was a good play. It was a really good play. You see Stephon Castle here working around the screen set by Wemby. Josh Hart, I believe that's Josh Hart, stuck on the screen. And what happens? Steph is open for an alley-oop right there. Can you imagine a game-winning Thunder dunk of justice by Stephon Castle? That would have been amazing. I would have lost it. Miss TSR would have lost it. The plushies would have been flying around through the air. Everybody would have lost it. But no. Dylan Harper's pass is way short. And I don't know if, in his defense, he's a 20-year-old rookie. Maybe he got caught up in the moment and got nervous and made one of the worst passes, easily one of the worst passes of his short Spurs career. Nowhere near getting it to Steph where he needed it to throw that down. And because the pass was short, Steph couldn't get the shot off in time, no foul, game over, and the Spurs lost again by 1 point. Lost at the end of the game, game 2, and now game 4. It should never gotten to that point, though. Never, ever gotten to that point, because the Spurs were up by an NBA record 20. Well, they blew a NBA record 29-point lead. They're up by 29, 27 at the half, and it was because of an abysmal second half. This is painful to look at. They got outscored 58-30. Champagny scored 0 points. Vassell only 1 of 4. Wembanyama, I'm sorry, was anything but. He was 3 of 14. Probably played too many minutes. Should not have played 23 minutes. I think he was tired. But 3 of 14 from the floor and 1 of 4 from the line. He missed 2 critical free throws in the fourth quarter that could have totally changed the complexion of the game. Castle was only took 1 shot, 0 for 1. I will give credit where credit was due. He hit all 8 of his free throws in clutch time. De'Aaron Fox, 2 of 8 from the field, 4 turnovers. And I know a lot of people are pointing this directly at Fox. It's just not at Fox. It's the thumbnail. It is what it is. But he is obviously a big part of the last few plays you saw there, leaving OG unattended, missing that layup, or maybe not even should have taken the shot. And he was the one that was supposed to be the leader, the guy that was in the playoffs, the crunch time guy, the former clutch player of the year that would stop these type of situations from happening. And he did not show up last night. Dylan Harper struggled with handling the ball, 2-3 turnovers. Keldon Johnson was invisible on offense, 0 for 4. And Luke Kornet played less than a minute and had a foul. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words. This was just so awful in the second half. The worst second half I have ever called in my life on this channel. And Mitch Johnson, the worst coaching job of the season by him on the biggest stage. The team's going 8 for 39 for 21% from the field, 3 of 17 for 18%. I think I heard at some point in the third quarter when the Knicks were making their comeback, they took 8, or maybe somewhere over into the fourth quarter. I don't know when it was. The Spurs took 8 threes in a row and missed them. Coach, you got to run some play. You got to do something to make sure this is not happening. Spurs are now down 3-1. And I try to be optimistic as all heck. But I sincerely worry what happens to a team's mentality, their confidence, etc. when you lose a game like this. We saw the Cleveland Cavaliers choke a 22-point lead in the fourth quarter against these same New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Cavaliers were just dead to rights the rest of the series. And I know the Spurs aren't the Cavs. The Spurs aren't Ben Simmons. But what does that do to your confidence when you lose a game that you absolutely should have won? I am concerned with Game 5 Saturday night. Crazier things have happened. The Cleveland Cavaliers, with LeBron James about a decade ago, came back against the 73-9 Warriors when they were down 3-1. So it's the only time I think a team's ever come back from 3-1 in the final, so it's not impossible. But they have to play better than this. And one thing I think that we do have going for us is there's going to be 2 days of rest now between every game because the teams are traveling. Game 5 is in San Antonio. Game 6 is New York. Game 7 is San Antonio. I'm not giving up on the team yet. But if they play like they did in the second half last night in Game 5, or if it gets to Game 6 or 7, they absolutely aren't going to win. They, quite frankly, don't deserve to win. They're playing like that. If they play like they did in the second half, which literally, I agree with Charles, it was dumb. You're firing 3 after 3 after 3 after 3. You have a huge lead. You don't need to you're not trying to play catch up. You're ahead. Terrible play, terrible coaching, awful across the board. But I'm still going to root for our guys Saturday night and hope that somehow this is not an experience that shakes their confidence and rattles them, but absolutely wakes them up and motivates them in ways that we've never seen before. They take this loss, they take this knocked down, getting hit hard, not as we're done, we're finished, as that's another game we should have won. We should be up 3-1 in this series. We can compete with this, guys. We need to play our Spursy basketball and win the rest of these games. Somebody in the locker room needs to be like, there's only one thing we need to do now. What's that? Win the whole effing thing. Because they are showing us they are good enough to compete with this team, but they're not playing. Last night, didn't play a full 40 minutes. Another thing we talked about, no double teaming, make your free throws, stop chucking threes, play a full 40 minutes. All those things we've talked about throughout this whole NBA Finals reared their ugly head last night in the second half. They're better than this. They are better than this. And De'Aaron Fox, all seriousness, I know I got the choke on him on the thumbnail. I didn't know what else to put. I thought this was a great screenshot that somebody took, so I used it. It's not 100% on him in his defense, but oh my gosh, the last 30 seconds for former clutch player of the year, for the highest paid player in Spurs history, you need to do better, as does the rest of the team and the coaching staff. That's all I got. I'm getting angry. Spurs fans, drop a comment down below. Where do you think what went wrong last night? The 3 plays I talked about, the last 3 plays, the Fox breakaway, do you agree the layup was the right choice? Should he have dribbled the clock out? On the ensuing play, was Fox right double-teaming Brunson, or should he have stayed on OG? And then the last play of the game, did you know that we actually had an open alley-oop to Stephon Castle? Because I did not know until putting this video together today. Hit the thumbs up, enjoy the video, and like to help support the channel. Subscribe for more Spurs content, become part of our Spurs community. All right, thank you, and as always, go Spurs go.